It's less than 2 weeks to the deadline given by the Independent National Electoral Commission for registration for permanent voters' cards across the country. There are, however, concerns that many Nigerians may not be able to get their PVCs within this period, although the electoral body says that it's doing all it can to ensure that Nigerians all over the country receive their voters' card. Our next report examines the ongoing exercise in Oyo and Jigawa states and some of the challenges being faced by the residents.
It's just a few months away to the 2019 general elections, and the only acceptable ticket to cast votes, according to INEC, is a permanent voter's card. In Jigawa State, north-central Nigeria, a coalition of civil societies in the state have staged a rally to inform the public on the importance of getting their voter's card. The electoral umpire has announced that the end of collection of PVCs may be soon, but many have lamented the strenuous procedures associated with registering and collection of the permanent voter's card.
We are calling also the attention of INEC. They will make sure that they provide the equipment that will enable the citizens to register themselves, because there is shortage of the equipment. In some areas there is no generator. In some centers there is one computer. In some centers there is problem of the printer.
It is not true.
INEC's commissioner in the state, Mahmuda Issa, has however negated the claims by the group. He believes the agency has and continues to do all it can to ensure the citizens get their PVCs.
These challenges we are talking about, I don't think it is true. It is not true at all, not even put in the state. It is not true. We have enough equipment handy. And that all these machines they are talking about, the DC machine, whatever, have it handy in the store. And that whenever there's any problem for any field, in so far the registration officer or electoral officer phone INEC headquarters will supply it to him within 24 hours.
But these residents at a registration center in Dutse beg to differ at the commissioner's stance.
We came but 2 days. Today is 3 days. We will still come back. I will come back now. The next, since 7 o'clock till now, we never do anything.
We came early in the morning and we left yesterday around 4 without having it, due to the fact that the line is too much and the processing is slow. And as of today, I also came here by 6 a.m. but up till now I haven't gotten my voter's card.
In Oyo State, southwest Nigeria, the resident electoral commission official explains the agency's desire to make the registration process stress-free, but is worried that over 700,000 PVCs are left unclaimed.
We have distributed so far a total number of 37,035 PVCs. But unfortunately, we have a huge number of 756,450 PVCs uncollected in Oyo State.
Registration and collection of permanent voters' card is expected to be suspended on the 17th of August to resume after the 2019 elections.
The paramount ruler of Boki local government area of Cross River State is appealing for peace to reign among warring communities of Boki in the council after communal clashes which have resulted in the loss of lives and the destruction of property. Government is now stepping in to broker peace and prevent further breakdown of law and order in the conflict set to begun in 2016 following attempts to alter agreements reached between government and landlords of an estate government-owned estate. Our community report tonight takes a look at the plea for urgent intervention into the lingering crisis.
The 1,070 square miles of potential called Boki in Cross River State, South Nigeria, is widely regarded as a commercial hub for agricultural commodities such as cocoa, coffee, timber, and palm products. Blessed with a vibrant human population of over 40 settlements, it can be said that Boki has a fair mix of people and opportunity. But the reality is that all the opportunities for development have not been utilized, because for some time now, Boki has been in turmoil. And this has disrupted any chance for development to thrive. The communities are at loggerheads over who controls a large portion of land. a battle that has recorded loss of lives and destruction of property. Now, it seems the realization of the futility of violence is dawning on the residents, as a reconciliation meeting has been convened to chart a path of peace.
We are now here to address a challenge. We are looking at challenges. There have been challenges all over the place. There have been cases of insecurity, and we are coming together as a family under the umbrella of Otebuki. Our traditional rulers are going to be present, elders, opinion leaders, the youth, the women.
The meeting gets underway with the paramount ruler who pours out his grievances.
I constituted a committee that went to the forest. That day the committee went to the forest, including the most eldest client of Boki, or to M.O. Bedouin, was among the committee. They went there. I don't know how the people feel. While my committee were in their duty, they went and dismounted a signboard that was planted by the Reverend Fathers. A road was blocked. That came to me. I said, no. I called the Roger client. I said, it's an abomination. You must pay a fine of 100,000 naira before these people can go in there again. Till today, he has not paid anything.
This elderly man also has deep wounds. He has lost members of his family in the quest for ownership.
Two of them, all in my family. My mother's family, one. My own child, one. Then my next child, my grandchild, was beaten, as I said here. I gave him an article to sell in the market. He was robbed, beaten in the market square, seized the article, took him to the police station, and from the police station, he was taken to a diamond hill. They went into my own wife's house. They destroyed it, destroyed the generator that my grandchild is using. Those are the effects.
This submission by the convener hopefully should sink into the hearts of the aggrieved, that dialogue is always the better option.
The time has come for us to come back home and build Boki, because I don't think you have any other home. In fact, those of us who are destroying Boki are the ones who need Boki even more. Some of us, and particularly our elders who are here, they even have an option to become US citizens. If they decide they don't take them to, they will relocate. But for most of us, if we lose our connection with Boki, everything is finished about us.
Noting that any move for peace can only be made by the people, Governor Ben Ayade assures that the state government is doing all it can to stop the violence.
For me, it's an issue that I have set up a special committee, which is looking, and the white paper is now ready. Justice Eneji is heading that committee, and they are presenting a report to me on Thursday. Until I get the details of that report, and then I can marshal out an action plan to put an end to this age-long crisis.
The meeting ends with each settlement retreating to corners to further weigh their options. Hopefully, when next the congregation gathers, it will be to celebrate and not criticize.
The pursuit of knowledge is a worthy cause for those who know the value of it. But in a case where the journey exposes the learner to certain negatives, then there's a cause for concern. That's the situation with many male children sent out by their parents and guardians to acquire Islamic knowledge but end up begging to survive. Our special report tonight turns a spotlight on the Almajiri system of education in northern Nigeria and calls for reforms.
The first 5 to 8 years of a child's life is critical for development, as this is the foundation for subsequent stages. Ideally, children that age should grow and develop in a friendly environment, preferably within a family. But for these boys, home is in the dim and distant past, and survival depends on kind gestures from the public. 10-year-old Umaru is one of many boys sent by their parents from different parts of northern Nigeria to Bauchi State to learn Islam under an informal education system called Almajiri. He, like many others, is not lucky to get food every day. In the same town is 21-year-old Sani, who also joined the Almajiri system at a tender age after his parents sent him here from Adamawa to learn the Quran. His story is a sharp contrast from Umaru's. Rather than beg, Sani learned to be independent and today runs a business of his own and is also studying mass communication at the Bauchi State Polytechnic.
When I started it, I have my Oga shop here. There is one brother, when I will come to his shop immediately in the morning and carry out his load to here and pack it. We will stay together till the time of my going to school.
Yahya is a product of a more organized school for Quranic and Islamic studies which teaches the boys to be financially independent in addition to the usual curriculum. Over the years, Almajiri has become synonymous with begging, but Islamic cleric Mansour Yalwa, while comparing the practice in Nigeria to what obtains in Mauritania, one of the countries Nigeria borrowed the system from, says begging is vehemently discouraged in Islam.
Even though this practice is deeply rooted in the practices of the people, but they were able to outlaw the issue of begging, and it worked. I never saw anyone begging in the street. I didn't see anyone going to the houses begging for food, because the people who are there are philanthropists who will be feeding these children, even if they are there, but they don't need to go and beg.
Addressing the problem is one some members of civil society believe can be achieved by institutionalizing the practice.
The government can go there and build classroom for them, build a hostel for them, allow them to do their normal things the way they used to.
Other solutions proffered include more creation of awareness, especially at the grassroots level, in order to discourage parents and guardians from sending their children and wards to clerics who run the Almajiri schools.
About 700 youths have been employed by the Kaduna State government to work with the state's road traffic agency, Karote. Presenting appointment letters to the new recruits, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje explained that his intention is to adequately fill the vacuum arising from staff retirement, creation of additional administries and agencies of the state government. Our correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that the new employees have since been posted across the 44 local government areas of the state.
It's the passing out parade of these 745 carefully selected and trained youths across the 44 local government areas of Kano State. They have undergone training in basic traffic operations that will help to strengthen the capacity of the Kano State Road Traffic Agency. Shortly, they will be deployed across the 44 local government areas of the state to control traffic on major roads and prosecute traffic offenders.
Since the inception of this government, and as part of its cardinal policies, employment opportunities and empowerment schemes are being provided to a large number of our teeming youth. This policy is strengthened through the employment of thousands into the state civil service, covering education, health, and other sectors, with a view to adequately fill the vacuum created through retirement and creation of the additional MDS.
That is not all. This recruitment exercise also signifies the state government's efforts to further strengthen the institution for enhanced service delivery with the procurement of additional operational vehicles.
It is our intention to make Kano State a real mega city equivalent to any other city in the world. And this is only possible when we improve our physical infrastructures, such as the road infrastructure, the rehabilitation and construction of new roads within metropolitan Kano, the construction of flyovers, the construction of underpasses, in order to make Kano to look like any mega city in the world.
Established by the immediate past governor of Kano State to help in the control of traffic congestions within the metropolitan city, as well as boost the state's revenue generation, it is expected that these new intakes will contribute their quota toward achieving the objectives of setting up the agency. Idris Jibrin, Channels Television News.
Still ahead of the news at 10, curtains fall on the African Senior Athletics Championship in Asaba as Nigeria finishes third in the 5-day event. We'll have more in sports news. Stay with us.